A hush runs along the rope line at Royal Melbourne. Wind in the tie tree, a smear of gray clouds, and Rory McIlroy crouched over a ball that should be a routine punch-out. Then the camera zooms in, and the gallery gasps. A banana peel, yellow and torn, sits draped against the ball like a prank from the golf gods. Rory backs away, jaw tight. He knows the rule. Touch the peel, risk nudging the ball, invite a penalty. Play it as it lies, or pay for it. The air goes weird. Phones rise. A marshal shuffles. Somewhere, a kid whispers, "No way." Rory settles, recalculates the shot window, and commits. Club back, club through. Thud. The contact's awkward, the ball leaks, and the damage is instant. On the leaderboard, red numbers from the morning suddenly look far away. On social media, the clip detonates. A fresh sting for a player who'd already survived a viral miss-hit earlier in the week. One goofy piece of litter, and a Champions Day tilts off axis. But if there's a through line in Rory's career, it's this. Take the hit, swallow the noise, and hunt for birdies on the very next hole. The question now isn't what happened, it's how he answers it. A hush runs along the rope line at Royal Melbourne. Wind in the tie tree, a smear of gray clouds, and Rory McIlroy crouched over a ball that should be a routine punch-out. Then the camera zooms in, and the gallery gasps. A banana peel, yellow and torn, sits draped against the ball like a prank from the golf gods. Rory backs away, jaw tight. He knows the rule. Touch the peel, risk nudging the ball, invite a penalty. Play it as it lies, or pay for it. The air goes weird. Phones rise. A marshal shuffles. Somewhere, a kid whispers, "No way!" Rory settles, recalculates the shot window, and commits. Club back, club through, thud. The contact's awkward, the ball leaks, and the damage is instant. On the leaderboard, red numbers from the morning suddenly look far away. On social media, the clip detonates. A fresh sting for a player who'd already survived a viral miss-hit earlier in the week. One goofy piece of litter, and a Champions Day tilts off axis. But if there's a through line in Rory's career, it's this. Take the hit, swallow the noise, and hunt for birdies on the very next hole. The question now isn't what happened, it's how he answers it. Rory didn't fly to Australia for a cameo. He came for rhythm, real tournament reps on one of the purest tests on earth. The sandbelt isn't about raw distance or rough that grabs your ankles. It's about geometry. Firm fairways that skip the ball into the wrong shoulder, bunkers cut like bowls, greens that ask you to land it short and let it chase. If you bring impatience to Royal Melbourne, it will send you home early. For Rory, that's both a challenge and a canvas. When he's flowing, his driver draws ribbons and his wedges paint windows. It's why crowds show up early and trail him through the tie tree. It's also why the expectations were loud. He's a global star, a major champion who spent a career living on leaderboards, and any start outside contention feels like a plot twist. The week began in a low hum, solid swings, some shrugged putts, a card that could have been a couple better. Then came the viral hiccup, a rare air swing from the scrub, the kind of clip golf doesn't let you forget. He answered with late birdies and a number that kept the weekend alive. That's the template with Rory. Stumble, steady, surge. By Saturday, the mission was clear. Post something in the 60s, move within shouting distance, and give Sunday a reason to get loud. Simple on paper. At Royal Melbourne, nothing is simple for long. Friday had already tested him. The fresh air swing from the scrub wasn't just a miss. It was a gut punch to confidence. But Rory did what the best do. He turned embarrassment into ignition. Fairway, green, birdie. Then another. The gallery that had winced at the whiff started to hum again. You could feel the trust returning, shot by shot, like a heartbeat finding rhythm. Trust is everything at Royal Melbourne. Trust the bounce to feed the ball off a slope. Trust the wind's last-second nudge. Trust the number, even when the green looks like it's tilting away from you. And most of all, trust the swing that got you here. By late afternoon, Rory's tempo had softened, his pre-shot routine was unhurried, and the strike sounded like a metronome. He walked off with the kind of 60s that don't scream, they reassure. Saturday began with that same quiet certainty. Early tee shots threaded corridors. Approach shots landed on chests of contours and slid to makeable ranges. The putter wasn't flamboyant, just honest, good strokes, honest results. You could see shoulders drop, pace quicken, eyes brighten. It was the version of Rory that makes you believe the next hole might be the one that flips the day. And that's exactly when chaos tested the contract he'd rebuilt with himself. Royal Melbourne doesn't have to roar to ruin a plan. Sometimes it only needs silence and a stray piece of trash. The moment Rory saw the banana peel leaning against his ball, the entire calculus of the hole changed. A straightforward punch became a puzzle with traps. Touch anything, and you invite uncertainty. Back off, and you play a compromise shot from an awkward stance with a foreign object sitting right there, taunting your focus. This is the kind of randomness golf pretends is rare, but players know by heart. A divot that doesn't fill, a footprint in a bunker, a gust that shows up late. Only now it had a slapstick prop and 1,000 camera phones. He conferred briefly, weighed his options, then chose the path that protected against any rules headaches. No fussing, no fingers near the ball, just play it. That's the professional instinct. Control what you can, live with what you can't. But the problem was bigger than one swing. Once the clip exists, it becomes the story. Every future shot carries the echo. You're not just chasing the leaders anymore. You're trying to outrun the meme and keep your round from turning into a circus. The crowd means well, yet the whispering swells. Marshals hustle. Volunteers scan the rough for more litter like they're sweeping a stage. Meanwhile, the leaders keep posting numbers, and momentum, the most delicate currency in golf, starts to leak. There's also the etiquette question humming underneath. How does something like that end up on the course at all? Fans aren't villains, but this is a reminder that tiny lapses have giant consequences when a ball and a camera are nearby. For tournament officials, it's a scramble to make sure the next group doesn't meet the same fate. And then there's the mental duel only the player feels. The fight to keep your routine intact when the world is laughing at a frame from 2 minutes ago. Can you rehearse the breath, commit to the window, and make a clean move with the same conviction you had on the previous tee? That's the real problem, not the peel, but the noise it brings with it. The round pivoted on a handful of moments that don't look like highlights until you stack them together. The very next swing. After the banana fiasco, Rory could have stewed. Instead, he reset with a routine he's honed for years. Step back, stare at a fixed point on the horizon, breathe in for 4, out for 4. The next tee shot was a statement. Center stripe, hold the finish, a swing that said, "The clip won't own me." You could feel the gallery breathe with him. The stubborn par save. Every charge needs a hinge, and his came from a greenside lie that begged for doubt. Ball slightly below the feet, fringe into the grain, flag tucked. He chose the nervy option. Nip it, land it on a dinner plate, let it trickle. Tap in par. Not a roar, but the kind of save that puts oxygen back in a round. The mid-iron that broke the spell. A few holes later, he pulled a number that fits his eye. Call it a stock 8-iron. Trajectory perfect. One hop and stop to inside 10 feet. Birdie. The scoreboard didn't explode, but the rhythm returned. Shoulders squared, stride lengthened. The camera caught a grin that hadn't been there since the peel. The 2-putt discipline. Royal Melbourne tempts you to chase. He didn't. Twice he faced long-range birdie looks across roller coaster greens and took the discipline par. No hero speed, no 3-putt mistake. Those are invisible wins, but they buy the runway you need for late red numbers. Late in the round, he caught a par 5 in 2. The eagle putt threatened, the birdie fell. Momentum banked. Added up, and the shape is clear. One goofy disaster, followed by 5 decisions that leaned into patience and control. The clips will loop the peel, the round will remember the choices. By sunset, the headline had 2 halves, the meme and the score. Rory McIlroy didn't let a piece of slapstick trash wreck his week. He steadied the heartbeat, stacked disciplined pars, and slipped in enough birdies to post a number that still keeps Sunday interesting. It's not the front row seat he wanted, but it's close enough to see the stage lights, and that matters at Royal Melbourne, where leaders can skid in a heartbeat. Tournament-wise, the outcome is simple. He survives the chaos with momentum intact. The card shows a round in the 60s. The body language says there's more in the tank. The analytics, fairways found, approach windows hit, stress managed, point to a player who can turn a quiet start into a late charge if the putter cooperates and the wind turns mischievous for everyone. Narrative-wise, the banana peel becomes a footnote, not a verdict. The internet will loop the clip forever. Golfers will remember the reset. That's the difference between a week that unravels and a week that matures. He took the hit, paid the double, and wrote steady golf over the top of it. Sunday is now a math problem with emotion baked in. Get an early red number, avoid the 3-putt landmines, pounce on the reachable par 5s, and see if the leaders blink. If they do, he's close enough to matter. Golf's myths say champions are made by perfect swings and tidy highlight reels. Reality says otherwise. Careers are built in the rubble, over the bad bounce, the wrong wind, the buzzing gallery. Even a banana peel dropped by someone who wasn't thinking. What matters isn't the glitch, it's the response. Rory's week reframes the viral moment. Accept the rule, take your medicine, and rebuild the round with boring, stubborn golf. There's a message for fans, too. Etiquette isn't old-fashioned, it's oxygen. Tiny choices from the crowd can choke a tournament or keep it pure. Legacy isn't one clip. It's a pattern, composure, control, and the courage to chase birdies right after the world laughs. While the internet loops Rory's peel, the leaderboard keeps minting names. Rasmus Nergaard Peterson firing fearlessly. Min Woo Lee flirting with fireworks. A pack of Aussies turning home crowds into tailwinds. That's the modern game, legends absorbing chaos while the next wave treats pressure like oxygen. If Rory sprints Sunday, it'll be against a field that refuses to blink.